Alright, everybody, this is Salamancer. You're watching Fully Charged, the podcast all about competitive and other TF2 stuff going on. Joining me today is, of course, going to be Cbear. I'm a shoutcaster. I do XTV. I do my own stuff. Cbear, why don't you give us an introduction of yourself, man?
Yeah, we didn't do that last week, Sal, too much. I think everyone knows Sal at this point, because Sal's the man. I'm not quite the level of man that Sal is, but I also do TF2 shoutcasting. I used to play at a pretty high level. I was bad, but I played at a high level. Now, most of the game play I have, a few pugs a week. I generally am the 6v6 kind of lifeline here from this show towards that end of the community. And shoutcast, if you ever tuned into one of the LAN casts, there's a pretty good chance that you heard me mediocrely cast a game. But that's me, and we have two awesome guests, Sal. So do you want to introduce these two fine nerds?
I think we should. Our first guest has a webcam. Our second one does not. First guest is going to be Huey Lewis. Give us a little intro about yourself, man.
What's up, everybody? If you've seen any TF2 YouTube, hopefully maybe I've come up at some point. But yeah, I've played PYRO for a long time. PYRO for Tangerine and UGC Platinum Highlander right now. Thanks for having me on, Sal.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to have you here. We're going to talk PYRO today, and our final guest for today is going to be none other than Enigma from Classic Mix-Up. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, I'm Enigma. I'm a longtime Scout player and active member of the 6v6 community, and I currently play for the ESEA invite team called Classic Mixup. And I'm also working on developing this site called TeamFortress.tv. If you have time, go check it out.
Yeah, TeamFortress.tv is becoming like the central hub for TF2 these days, especially North America, but I mean, even trying to draw in the Europeans for that scene too, right? You can talk anything you want to about TF2 there. Kind of, in some ways, a new got frag, but it's got some other sections to it as well, right?
Yeah, for sure, and more stuff coming along.
Okay, so without too much further ado, I told people we were going to have a big old hype kind of announcement, and so I may as well put the
show off
rumors
with it,
to rest.
yes.
Yeah, I'll take it over from here. So the first thing we're going to talk about today. We're talking Dreamhack. I mentioned, I think, IPL last time, and IPL isn't really going to happen too much unless it's an online tournament, but Dreamhack is really interested in having a TF2 tournament there. So I don't want to say it's happening for sure yet. I do want to say, however, that we've already talked to Dreamhack. We're talking to sponsors now as a group of us who've basically gotten together and said, okay, well, let's this week try and find sponsors willing to put up a title event for TF2 at Dreamhack this winter, November 22nd through 25th. It would be awesome. That's what we're going for. It's not a guarantee at all. So if you're hearing a guarantee and your name is Retro, you can get out. But that's what we're after. I would love having Dreamhack TF2. If it doesn't happen this winter, the hope is that it's going to happen sometime in the summer Dreamhack, whatever you got, next summer, which is a lot longer away. Kind of sucks, but yeah, Dreamhack 6v6. Cbear, what do you think about that, man?
I think it's awesome. When I first heard the news yesterday, it was broken to me like, it's happening, Bear, aren't you happy? I was like, I can't believe that. That's crazy. And then talking to you today, it sounds like there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I was actually going to ask you, Sal, from someone, I'm not really active at all in helping do anything, if our viewers are interested in trying to maybe help spread the word, is there anything that anyone can do to help maybe get the ball rolling on this a little further? I know you and some of the other public TF2 figures from Vanilla TF2 and EXTV are working together to do it. Is there anything like Joe Public can do to help out? Is there anything I can do to help out?
I don't have anything. I think
a lot of people would like to.
Yeah, I don't have anything yet. That's the thing, is we're still in the phases of like talking to sponsors. So if you want to go to like SteelSeries and Plantronics and just spam their Twitter account and be like, guys, we want to see TF2 at Dreamhack. I mean, it probably couldn't hurt.
As long as you do it in a nice way. Don't berate them. Like, I want TF2, jerks. I won't buy your stuff if you don't do it. Just, I don't know. But that's cool news. I mean, when would that be, though? I heard that the date, if it is winter,
if it's winter, it'll be Thanksgiving.
It would be like on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, right? Yeah, pretty much is in the U.S. here that it would be on Thanksgiving. But I mean, screw family, right? Go to Dreamhack. That's what I would do.
I don't know.
That is when it would be. So I think if we were to put together a North American team, even if they got a sponsor, and you could all see, instead of watching the big football game, you could watch a big TF2 game, right? But it probably would not be a full team from like Mix-Up or Leviathan or Space Whales or whoever, just because it would be Yeah, a few of them would have to dug out, I think, for family obligations, I would assume. Have a mixed team go over there. I think it'd still kick ass.
And then that team could come back and then play 6v6 the next season and kill everybody and just be the best team by far, and then be blamed for ruining the game. What?
Speaking of that, before we get into the Pyro real quick, I want to talk about Invite for just a second. So we've had some solemn occasions in TF2, some mourning for teams that have passed. Enigma, what's going on there, man?
Well, two of the teams we've known about for a while, Pinball Wizards and Mighty Ducks, they dipped out, I think, a week or two ago, maybe even longer. But just recently, yesterday, in fact, we found out that two more teams, or at least one team, is dead or on the brink of dying. And those two teams are Chess Club and Going Heavy. And both of those teams are in trouble right now because specific players on the rosters just have decided that they're no longer interested in the game and have suddenly dipped out completely.
So,
right.
which players are those? Just out of curiosity.
From Going Heavy, the team with Oplade, Lansky, Craig, Tony Swan, it's Ben Sweater who's lost interest in the game. And on Chess Club, the team with S on My Chess, Try, Weeble, Kermit, it's actually been, I think Weeble. Weeble just suddenly disappeared, and now they no longer have a scout and couldn't field 6 for the match against our team last night. So that's that.
Yeah, so you guys had a free forfeit win, I suppose. That must have been really fun to get on the server and then be like, oh, we're not playing. But so, one more thing, because we are going to talk a lot about the Pyro, but you've been off-classing practically, not every game, but you've been off-classing a lot. This has been a really easy season for you guys, right? You're still undefeated, and it looks like you're just going to go sweep LAN. Is that going to be the case?
I don't know. We've played Bro recently, and they seem to be really strong. We actually haven't played them officially in ESEA since they reformed their roster and brought over put Mezzer back on Scout and brought in Clockwork to Scout with YZ50. But I think they could be really good competition at LAN for sure.
Okay, that'll be fun to see. I want to see the Clockwork YZ50 combo at LAN, tearing it up. Cbear, anything else you want to talk about 6v6 wise?
Well, we'll probably get back into it. I mean, we can talk about, there still is an actual competition, thank God. I heard yesterday was 4 teams left, but we do have 5, and 2 of them are competing for the 5th place. They're actually going to play each other next week. It's going to be Chess Club versus No Need for Names, and they're going to have a fight on Process, I think, is the last match, right? Or map? Is that? I don't know. I guessed. It may not be that. But so thankfully we'll have some kind of race towards the finish line between those teams. But we can talk a little bit more about 6s later. But Sal, real quick, while I remember, because I forgot to last time, our sweet little overlay that you're seeing with the Ubered Pyro medic thing going on, that was made by Memphis Vaughn, who's a friend of the show and a former teammate of mine. And the one that you saw last week was made by Whisker Biscuit, and I'm such a jerk, Sal, that I didn't say thank you to Whisker Biscuit. How dare I not say? So,
and I tell you, man,
thanks,
thanks a lot to Whisker Biscuit and to Memphis Vaughn. Whisker especially, I was I was sending him messages like, no, can you change this? Can you change that? Can you make this bigger? And he was just easy to please, right? He was just like, yeah, whatever you need. I'll keep sending you new images, Sal. Stop asking me, but okay, fine. So he's a really awesome guy. Made that
and then you
image.
broke his heart by taking Memphis Vaughn's new one, and now he's sitting at home, tears rolling down his Whisker Biscuit face.
Yeah, I'm
Sal, the Dream Crusher. But
that's
fine.
That's
whatever.
Me.
It's not like we paid him or anything, so.
I mean, actually, it might feel better if we had paid him. I'm going to be honest. Because then you can just say, we found a better product, right?
We let him on our friends list. That's payment.
There you go. Okay, so the episode tonight is all about the Pyro, ladies and gentlemen. That is what you are tuned in for. We want to talk about the Pyro's role in 9v9 and 6v6. And since we've got a 6v6 and a 9v9 player here who have both played Pyro and are pretty darn good at it and are fairly popular, I figure we may as well start there. So, we see Pyro defending last on like Badlands and some of the more choke pointy maps that have not a lot of space, a lot of restriction in there. We're talking 6v6. So why does it only come out at that time for 6v6?
I think one big reason is that it's just a class that's not played too much. And if you compare the hours that, if you want to say top pyro like me or Bloodsire in 6v6, the hours that we have in comparison to the hours that other people have on other classes, and even like us on Scout, we have thousands upon thousands of hours on those other classes, and probably maybe not even 100 hours on pyro. So that's one huge contributing factor to why you don't see it that often. It's just the plain fact that we're just not as good at pyro as we are at other classes.
Well, it's all about speed too, isn't it? You can't really get around the map near as quickly as any of the other standard classes, so the last point where people have to come up to you where you can best damage them, that's the easiest place to play it and the best place to play it, obviously.
Absolutely. And I would say that's part of the reason why it's played, because it's easier for us to play pyro in that situation. Ultimately, I think that if played more, pyro could have a place outside of just being relegated to defending last.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit then, because Bloodsire likes to do that. On Gravel Pit, for instance, he had that huge killing spree. That was hilarious. He enjoys his pyro in 6v6. So, what would the role of a pyro be? How would you build the team around that? Who would you what class would you replace? What would you do with a pyro in 6v6 if he were to take a more central role to the team?
He would have to do exactly that. Take a more central role, and by that I mean he has to play near the combo, because his biggest weakness is that he has really no range capabilities to do damage. One thing he is really good
flares,
at,
right?
Right, but that's really not a reliable source of damage unless he's already on fire.
If you're talking ranged on flares, you have to hit 2, and that takes like something like 3-4 seconds, and that's not reliable at all. And you still only get 100 damage out of that. So.
Enigma, you run the shotgun too when you play pyro, isn't that right? Now Bloodsire, who's the other big 6v6 pyro, he's flare only, and I think that's pretty like fun looking. It makes the plays, but shotgun at close range. I mean, it's the same shotgun as a soldier shotgun. It's capable of probably much more as far as being able to actually do damage and kill.
I think it's a preference thing. I'm just much more used to the hit scan style of shotgun, whereas I'm sure Bloodsire has played with flare gun extensively and he's really good with it. I'm just not that good with it, so I prefer the shotgun.
That's fair.
So when the pyro is playing around the combo, the medic and is the combo going to be still a medic and soldier, and then you're going to have like a scout and a demo on the flank? How are you organizing this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because he is really good at preventing damage to his medic. But at the same time, if you put a pyro in the combo, he's going to suck up a ton of heals, and those heals aren't going to the pocket soldier, the pocket demo, or whatever. Because right now, in the 6v6 dynamic, you don't have more than one person part of the combo during the Uber. If you take our team, for example, we like to take Tyler in by himself with the medic, and it's all the Tyler show. It's just Tyler and the medic. If you throw the pyro,
show starring me and Tyler.
Yeah, it works. It works. That's all that matters, right?
It does.
But I think if you throw another player into that mix, it just gets all muddled up, and you're going to have less heals for everyone.
You really need kind of something like what I think N does. And again, I'm not hugely experienced with 6v6, but when Powa is full-time sniper, their soldier switches over to scout. RR does that. I think you need another player on your team that's capable of switching between those two classes at least, depending on the part of the map that you're on, at least if you're going to be running a full-time pyro pocket, just to keep the variability up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in Highlander, I've played a couple Highlander pickup games, so maybe I'm not like the biggest expert on this, but you tend to keep the pyro with the combo, right? So it's going to be pyro, heavy, and medic is kind of the core of the team that keeps that medic safe, and if you're using a crits, I guess you want to keep the demo close by as well. But he kind of accomplishes exactly that function, right? He keeps the med safe, and I've played pugs with this guy here, with the guy beneath me on the screen. So Huey, how does that work for you? Do you think it could work in sixes as well as it does in Highlander for defending against the bombing soldier and all that?
One of the reasons it works so well in Highlander is because you're never alone doing it by yourself. You have so many other classes, like the heavy, there with you, and you're not necessarily even getting the kills while you're defending. You're just keeping projectile spam and keeping players, physically off your medic. So you're kind of setting up kills for the rest of your combo more than you're actually getting kills at some points. But in 6v6, there's just less players there to begin with, so it could work maybe a little bit better. But I don't know, Highlander. It's hard to judge the two because there's so much going on in Highlander compared to 6v6. There's a lot more hit scan you have to deal with too, and that's a really hard thing to deal with as Pyro. Whereas
it seems like in my extensive 2-game Highlander experience. By the way, gorgeous gamers, 2-0 baby. We're living the dream this season. We have a game against the team that beat Enigma's team with all the other invite ringers. So
yeah, good luck.
We're gonna lose, and it's gonna be awesome. But we will definitely be streaming it, and we'll be trying our best, guys. But gorgeous gamers, as of right now, best team in Highlander. Bam. But as NG, I played NG both games. I've had our Pyro, who was Dave AC, Leviathan Gamers roaming soldier, and a decent Pyro, I would say. He's kind of on anti-spy duty a lot, helping me out so I don't get my stuff sapped, and he's running around. If he sees him, just doing the pub style, just blowing flames randomly, trying to catch the spy and stuff. So I think in Highlander, the Pyro has a lot more kind of team helping utility responsibility. Would you say, Huey, or am I just an inexperienced Highlander noob?
No, absolutely. And one thing I actually learned coming into Highlanders, I hadn't played it in a long time, from Pudding Cup, is that basically just you never want to be by yourself if possible. You always want to be with someone else. You're the best helper class in the game. You can set everything up for pretty much any other class in the game to do what they do best.
What do you do for a loadout in Highlander? Because in 6v6, I think a lot of it is still banned, unfortunately, or fortunately, if you're someone that doesn't like getting killed by something that you don't know about or whatever. But there's a lot of stuff out there now.
Yeah, that's still banned, I think, in Highlander.
Sal, I was in the pregame for the Highlander, and the other team's heavy had this like fire ring going on underneath them, like this AOE bursting fire, and I was like, "What the hell is that? Like, I don't even know that. Like, what do I do?" And then thankfully he didn't use it because I was terrified of it. It was giving me like FPS drops. It's like, dude, what the heck?
that thing. There's no way is that allowed in UGC?
I don't even know.
I don't know
if that new weapon is.
It scared me, but
Yeah, as far as loadouts go, it's really, we stick to what is actually still available in 6v6. It's degreaser, axe extinguisher, and shotgun or flare gun, depending on just how you want to do it. It's really personal preference. Anything else can give you situational advantages, but also gives you disadvantages in other situations. So it's, with all the stuff that goes on in Highlander, just being prepared for any situation is the best, I think. So that standard loadout is what most of the top guys run. There's some other guys who are kind of experimenting and doing well with stuff like the reserve shooter, but I'm not convinced yet.
So why would the reserve shooter not convince you? What's wrong with it?
I don't know. When I've used it, it takes me out of the fight more often, I think. Just the 3 shots, and you're really reliant on the air blast, being able to get people into the air for the mini crits, and you can kill people very quickly when they come to you, but if you're trying to push with your team, you really can't do a lot much with just the 3 shots. You can't spread around any damage for them, and if you're going to try to push with it, you really have to be at the front of the push to be able to catch anyone with the air blast, and that's, I don't know, it doesn't work too well for me.
What about the detonator? I don't know if that's legal or not, but
it is. Even in ESEA, I've seen it be used.
You can use it in ESEA?
Legal. Yeah.
I feel like it's a straight upgrade over the flare gun. I don't know. I've played in some pugs where the other team has like a troll pyro, and he's just like shooting a flare somewhere in like a 20-foot vicinity of me, and then he right clicks, and then I'm on fire, and then he does it again, and I'm mini crit and on fire still, and then it's like, well, why would you ever want to use the flare gun? I know Bloodsire uses the flare gun because it's cool, and like he has the pro-ro reputation to live up to, but that thing seems cool, and you can kind of jump with it a little bit, which is,
the jump is cool, and yeah, the jump's really the only thing that makes it anywhere near worthwhile. Is the detonations do basically no damage, something like 10-15 damage on a detonation, and an afterburn, which is easily put out in Highlander. At least there's way too many resources to heal yourself. But yeah, it's really about the damage that you need to be doing with the flare gun, though, and 90 damage on a crit is always going to be better than 45, where you're not always going to be able to pop out the flamethrower and hit people with it. So.
It's true. I bow to the master. I'm not a bad pyro. Sal, I'm a bad pyro. I bet you're a better pyro than me at this point.
I'm not good at anything. That's why I just cast games and don't play them. Well, so we've kind of gone over most of the secondaries. We haven't missed any, have we? You get your shotgun, your reserve shooter, your detonator, your flare gun.
You got your scorch shot, but that's
Scorch
really
shot.
not even worth talking about.
What is the scorch shot? I'm always curious to learn more new things. Like I'll find an item these days and I'll be like, "What the hell is this thing?" And it's like a backpack for the sniper, and it's like, "Whoa, okay, sweet, yeah, hey."
It does something
Shot.
like 15 damage per shot per hit. No mini crits or crits when you hit someone's already on fire. It moves people around, but
Oh, good.
yeah, I don't know. It's doesn't move people as much as the air blast even. So you lose all of your damage capability since most of that comes from your secondary as pyro. Like almost all burst damage you get is always going to be better than the streaming, flames that have shitty. Excuse me, particles.
No, you're good.
That hardly ever
God.
hits.
You'll get fined, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You can keep saying it.
Damn. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Just the scorch shots. That was a very disappointing weapon during the pyro update. That was the only new thing we really got.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you see the whole thing like that, and just nothing. It seems like a useless weapon unless I'm missing something, because I've tried to use it and yeah. So does it still do the same sort of knockback if you hit somebody from like really far away?
I think it does a little bit more depending on the distance you hit them from. But again, I don't see that ever being that useful unless you're playing on a map that's like a tightrope map or something. And I don't think that exists yet. So again, all your damage is gone just to a huge degree with the scorch shot, and I don't think anyone really runs it in Highlander.
Okay.
On the topic of secondaries, I noticed from playing a couple Highlander matches that all of the pyros I played against actually use some sort of the flare gun as opposed to the shotgun. Do you know why there's such a preference for that over what, in my opinion, is much more reliable damage from the shotgun?
I think a lot of the guys that play Highlander came from pubs. Is where else is a pyro really going to come from? And I think flare gun's definitely better in pubs. You keep yourself alive that much easier, but it's useful for sure. It's a pretty even trade-off for the shotgun in Highlander, but depending on how you play, there's guys like TMP who's in the chat here that I think is like 100% air blast. He doesn't play with the combo quite as much as a lot of other people, but if you're actually with your combo and focusing down damage with them, I think the shotgun, like you said, the sustained damage over time is much better. But yeah, I mean, I switch back and forth quite a bit. But yeah, there seem to be a lot of guys who just pick one or the other.
So you mentioned TMP, and he definitely seems to have a stylistic difference for playing pyro. There's like two schools of thought on that in Highlander, and one of them is that you play the defensive pyro, which we've been talking about, right? We talked about you stay with the med, and you keep the med safe, and you spy check, and you keep the NG alive, and all that. And the other school of thought is the roaming pyro, where you just go destroy people whenever you possibly can. What pros and cons? I want to hear about that.
I think the roaming pyro works better against somewhat disorganized teams, so the lower levels, even like maybe mid-plat and lower, it can start working a lot more if you're going 100% roaming. It also really works really well if you're just really, really good at it like TMP is. And right now, I think he's going to have just a crazy season just because his team is going to be backing him up so much, and they don't need that, that pyro protection because their combos what soup, the the heavy Polk and Hein, who's won 2 Highlander championships so far the last 2 seasons. Their combo is pretty solid itself, so they don't need TMP right around them all the time. But
okay,
yeah,
so somebody else is kind of filling that role anyway. He doesn't have to be there to protect against the bombers, right?
yeah, and I think like putting Cup said in chat, the best is a mix of the two. Like that's generally what I do. I'll stay with the combo when I have to absolutely keep the combo up, but they have Uber and we have to absolutely make an Uber push. If not, I'll shift around more and try to stay with other people who are maybe more important at any given moment.
One thing I noticed in the games Highlander, we played a pretty good team last week. I don't remember their names. I should. I'm a bad guy. But it was a CP map, Foundry, right? So I could move around a little bit more as NG. And when I first thought about playing Highlander, on NG. I thought it'll be so much fun. I'll run around, drop a mini sentry, and just own some guy who's standing there. But there isn't a whole lot of one-on whatevers. There's a lot of team movement, and if you roam and you run into the wrong thing, you're dead. Even running around at 150 health with the gunslinger on NG. On Pyro, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, you can win a one-on-one fight. Obviously, it's possible, but you can't win a one-on-two if they're competent at all. And so I found that out just to stay alive. I had to kind of play a little more passively than I'd want to. Ideally, I think the Pyro probably applies a little bit to that too. I mean, you can do utility if you see an opening, go for it right away. But a lot of it is situational, and I'd say kind of staying towards more passive play when both teams are set up and ready to go. Chances are you're probably just going to go die, and then you don't have that class.
Yeah, and that tends to happen to me when I try to roam more often than not. Like, I can do it to some degree, but not as well as guys like TMP or Satan, who's on BFL, the team Cbear's team played last time. I don't know if you noticed how well he was doing. It seemed to be.
Well, I was too busy winning to notice.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of that. But
no, they were good. We just, I think, kind of figured out Highlander a little bit better. Yeah, I don't remember the Pyro particularly, but he was probably doing his job. I remember, actually, Spy Truck, who's a streamer, he was complaining. He was, like, really, really mad. He's like, I can't do anything. This Pyro's always getting me on fire. Even when I'm cloaked, I'm like, I don't know, dude. He's the best, I guess.
Yeah, I think Spy is a lot harder than people maybe think it is in Highlander. There's so much clutter going on, and there's 9 people on the other team. At any given moment, one of them might turn around and see you. So you got to be really, really careful when you're playing Spy.
Okay. So let's translate a little bit in the 6v6 then. Let's say we've got a TMP or somebody else. This has happened before, right? We've seen teams try to run main Pyro at ESEA Open. I can't for the life of me recall which teams have done this. But how do these experiments work out? Do they typically work okay? Is there a problem with the Pyro, or is there just a problem with how it's being played? Like if you have a standard cookie cutter 6v6 on a 5 CP map like Badlands, we'll talk about Badlands. Is a main Pyro going to be as effective as a team that has all cookie cutter?
Why would you? I mean, the question would be, why would you want a Pyro, not a heavy in that situation? I think anything works in 6v6 if you do it right and you are able to. I mean, for instance, we've run Pyro at the middle of Badlands, something that's been done not so much anymore, but was done a lot back when I played. It's just sort of a surprise. I mean, I'm right here and I'm killing your medic all of a sudden thing. I think Pyro would work as like a surprise thing, and even like someone really good like Enigma at reflecting and stopping a push. Maybe if you know that they're Ubering into you and you don't have Uber to counter, that's the situation for it. But if you're 6v6 and you both have Uber, I just don't know how much. I'd rather have a soldier that could jump, or I'd rather have a scout that can move around and meat shot people, I guess. And if I had to pick between a utility class, sniper is really useful, obviously, and then heavy is heavy. And it's, I don't know. I think it could work. I just don't know exactly if it's where it would be the best choice, I guess. I don't know. Enigma, you'd know more than I do at this point. But
it's great defensively. The problem, especially in North America, when you have the first to 5 rule set, is that you have to play offensively to win. You just don't have that pushing capability and the damage to get that done.
Right. And if you Uber a Pyro in, you've seen it before. It's like somehow the Pyro's still alive. He went to mid and he stays alive going to last, and they Uber him in and you shoot the Pyro and he goes up in the air and he's just like, I want to get you, but I can't. And then, in that situation, I'd rather have a rocket launcher or the demo that's pushing or a heavy that can sit there and just eat your health up.
Even a scout.
Really, right, or even a scout in that situation. So Pyro's awesome for what it can do. It's just in an aggressive game, and the high-level 6v6 has turned into who can be more aggressive, and you want to have things that can close that distance fast. So that's why you see soldiers bomb, scouts get in there quick, and Pyro just, unless you're Bloodsire and meet the Pro and you're borrowing the rocket jump to get over there to get the axe extinguisher kill or whatever, you're not going to see a lot of that aggression out of Pyro.
So there are ways, though, to make the Pyro a little bit more mobile. We talked about the detonator, which got nerfed to hell. That was actually kind of sad, because before they released it, it had the capability to almost be like a rocket jump, right? And then they nerfed it, and it got into the release, and it was like, oh, this sucks now. We can't do anything. Maybe I can hop just a tiny little bit higher than I can with a space bar. Great. But how is there like an unlock that you could think of that would make the Pyro able to fill like that aggressive damage dealing role?
Jetpack.
I was gonna
Jetpack,
say
yeah,
like jetpack, yes. I don't know how it'd be implemented, but
there's always some trade-off for movement, and in general, Valve's design has been damage. And even with the detonator, the way it used to be, the problem with it was it didn't really give you all that much speed. So if you got into trouble, you might be able to kind of jump pretty high, but you can't really get out of trouble that quickly.
Maybe an air blast jump. You turn around and right click and you go flying that way or something. If you hold,
It's been talked about before, and I think Valve's art shot it down immediately. So
I think
I'm
part
not
of-
holding my breath for it.
I think Pyro's lack of ground closing mobility is part of the balance too. If you had, the capability of buffing a Pyro to 225 and have him fly at an enemy team, it would be pretty tough to deal with the reflect and all that stuff. You'd see high skill level players like Enigma just trash people because you shoot a rocket at it. No, I just got mini crit. Now this guy's at 200 health and he's right in front of me. What do I do? That's actually pretty scary to think about.
Yeah, it is. You suddenly either have to run your own Pyro to counter it, or you have to run a heavy, right? Who can just shoot it out of the air.
And then once the heavy goes, everybody's mad because the heavy's out. It's like, oh, now we're just mad. Enigma's gone heavy, breaking the game, making everyone mad. But I mean, I don't know. I would like to see Pyro more in 6v6. Enigma, do you think that in the future we will see it more, or do you think that it's still just going to be kind of situational? Do you see higher level teams being able to get away with maybe running a round of Pyro or bringing it in all of a sudden and keeping him for a push or something, or do you just think it's not good enough?
I think you can definitely see it in more situations, but as to having it full time, I just really don't think it would work out. But if you look at a lot of players like Harblu and myself, we don't just strictly play one class all the time. There are a lot of situations where a lot of people don't realize that the main cookie cutter classes aren't actually the best situation, and that a Pyro or even any other class would fill in very nicely and even be better than the Scout or Soldier, whatever cookie class you're used to running.
So you're basically saying, okay, well now you got to learn 2 classes, right? Which not the easiest thing in the world to do. Real quick though, we did have it come up both in the Reddit thread and in stream chat right now, and that is the gas jockey set. Which is that now allowed in Highlander and UGC?
Tell me what that is first, because I'm so stupid and uninformed. I don't know. I know it's like the full unlock when they did the Pyro.
You put the hat on, and it's power jack and something else.
Degreaser.
What is it?
Degreaser power jack. It gives you, what, 10% faster move speed? Something like tiny bit ahead of medic move speed?
Yeah. I mean,
but also 10% more vulnerability to hit scan, I believe. I don't even know. That's the thing. I know a little bit of it, but I don't know the exact. But yeah, you lose the axe extinguisher when you run that set, and in Highlander, since you're not necessarily always trying to be the most mobile, speediest class, it's, I don't know. I like the same with the reserve shooter or any other weapons. I haven't had much use for it yet. I like
it's
using
legal. The whole
it
set
is
is
legal.
in
Yeah.
Highlander. Right? Obviously not legal in 6v6. Nothing's legal in 6v6, except for soldier weapons. Those are pretty legal.
Yeah, I've used it to get to mids quicker on Foundry, the map from last week. I think that really helps with that mid, is just getting everyone you possibly can into it, onto the point as quickly as possible. So there's something to be said for it for mid fights, but otherwise, I think you're just not quick enough. You need to be able to do a ton of damage really quickly, and even though you don't...
Some kind of speed boost. If you really want to take Pyro and just make it more viable for 6v6, it needs either a jetpack, or some significant short term. If you gave the Demo Knight stuff, the charge and targe to the Pyro, right? That might help a little bit.
Maybe. I don't know what
It's a terrible idea. How dare you?
You give him crits at the end of the charge too.
Yeah, I don't know what the downside to that would have to be to make that a viable unlock, but I'd play with it.
Hey, Sal, since we have we didn't have that many viewers when you first broke the news. I'm seeing some people in chat. They're asking what it was because they weren't here originally. Do you want to kind of rephrase it, refresh the news of the day that you have, just real quick? I mean, you don't have to go into depth again. Just
news of the week is that we're in the planning stages right now for getting a Dreamhack TF2 tournament. I want it to happen in the winter tournament, so 22 through 25 of November. That's probably too soon, but hey, we're trying, okay? If we can get sponsor money for it this week or next, it could very well happen. So Dreamhack TF2, we want to see it. We want to see TF2 like legit esport. You know, we made it. We're at DreamHack now.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So
my dream, Sal, is to click on the Team Fortress 2 main blog page and have a video embedded in HD quality of the stream at DreamHack, and it have like an intro video where it's like, who will come out on top, America or Europe? And then it'll cut into Sal in a full tuxedo right there at a casting desk in front of a computer with a beautiful woman on either side, just like beautiful Swedish women just like this, like, what's up?
Beautiful Swedish women cosplaying like a slutty medic and sniper.
You've thought a lot about this, Cbear.
I'm saying I have very detailed dreams about Sal and women, I guess. But I just think that would be great. And I think that if we get to a DreamHack, which is, I mean, we're knocking on all sorts of wood here, but if that would ever happen, and you know, I think the viewer number would be huge. I think that would be a great step for the game. What I said earlier, my only concern is that it's so short notice. I mean, Thanksgiving's really not that far away. Teams from the United States, I mean, it would be so hard. Teams would have to probably pay a lot of money, have to get sponsors and all that stuff. But the fact that we have guys like Sal and some of the VTV guys like Skyride and Comedian who are out there really trying to promote the game, like everyone in chat should really thank Sal for being the man, because he is doing a ton for the game, more than I would say anybody else right now. Not just helping get teams to the I-46 land, but like everything else that he's doing. Talking to these people, talking to sponsors, writing, showing up, looking snazzy at their doorstep and saying, help this game grow. That's more than I've ever done and a lot of people. So that, Sal, you're the man. Thank you.
Just got to get stuff done. But let's not worry about that, because it may not happen. I would love it to, but at this point, DreamHack Winter's, you know, people are saying, well, it's probably not going to happen. I'm just like, okay, you know, we'll see what we can do. Summer is a little bit more possible because it's farther away. We'd have more time to get the money together. Who knows? Somebody asked in stream chat if Valve is supporting it, and Robin specifically said in his email to me, we are not sponsoring events right now. So I was like, international? No? Yeah, okay.
Well, they're not.
But
it's not Dota.
Right. No, and I understand where they're coming from. Like they don't want to be throwing money at stuff that's essentially a boondoggle, right? They want to.
How about they did 10% of all revenue from the rings that they sell for $100 a pop? Just 10% of all those ever, and then that would be enough.
There's a lot of stuff they could do for competitive TF2. You know, they had, like in Dota or whatever it is, League of Legends, they have the you can buy your flags, all that crap. There's a lot of stuff we could go into, like TF2 as an esport and what would help. It could be like a whole hour-long discussion, you know.
Maybe another show, Sal.
It'd be another show.
We could get Robin on and we'll yell at him, and then he'll leave to go sit on his computer chair made of dollar bills.
Really quick though, from what I heard and what I read on Vanilla TV was there was an attempt to get DreamHack or a TF2 at DreamHack before, and the people organizing it from the TF2 community and talking to Valve had actually secured a $10,000 guarantee from, I think, Robin Walker. Is there a reason his stance has changed now?
I don't know. I didn't ask. All I got was that response, and I assume this was like a year and a half ago. Part of it is that last time they tried to do DreamHack, the guy in charge of like trying to coordinate everything lost his internet and just left for 3 months leading up to the event. So suddenly they had no coordination whatsoever, and it fell through. So there was no TF2 at DreamHack. And then I think that maybe stung a little bit for Valve, and probably they lost a lot of their motivation to really sponsor TF2 as an esport. So they're at this point, they're just like, yeah, it's great that you guys are doing this, and you know, good luck. But at the same time, right now, they're feeling a lot of threat from Microsoft, I think. They kind of want to hoard their cash, too, just from my business sense of like what Valve is doing. Because they're seeing Windows 8 coming out, and Windows 8 might end up like eating into their profit share significantly. Like Steam is this big app store, right? And Windows 8 is basically the Microsoft mobile platform. It's a huge app store. So they can just cut Steam out of all the deals and just say, no, go straight to the game developers and say, no, you can sell through us now, and we'll take even less of a cut than Steam does. So Valve is seeing a threat from that, a threat to their revenue, and they're probably trying to put all their money towards like getting stuff on Linux and promoting other venues. You see the Steam TV coming out, that's another response to it. So at this point, I think they're trying to preserve cash. That's part of it.
It's smart.
Well, I thought I had heard that the last time there was a guarantee of whatever Enigma said, like $2,000 or $10,000. I thought it was actually just from Robin Walker himself and not from Valve. I thought Robin was taking a hit to do it just because he likes the game.
Well, he's taken hits in the past. He donated a significant amount to the North American fundraiser for I-46. He regularly donates to the teams who are going to ESCA land. He does like to donate himself, but I mean there's limits. He's not he's not rich beyond all means either, right? And he's not even working on TF2 anymore. So he's a big fan of the game. He's a fan of the competitive scene. But I don't think he's willing to throw a lot of money into the ring at this point. So we kind of have to go find our own sponsors, and that's where we are. We're gonna be doing that all week, trying to see if we can get the title card put up for TF2 at Dreamhack. So we talked Pyro, we talked Dreamhack. Is there anything else? I want to hear real quick, like what's your favorite Pyro moment that you've ever had? And we'll start with Highlander, with Huey Lewis right here.
Anytime you get any kind of actual kill streak, really, it doesn't happen extremely often, or anything like a reflect air shot on a dive bombing soldier. Those are always fun. There's no like one moment, I don't think. But yeah, anytime you get to do something really cool and stylish, Pyro's pretty cool at that.
I have a moment.
Yeah.
Sal.
Sure.
I played a little bit of Pyro my time in the 6v6. Back when I was in our team was called Muscle Milk and Moulions. We have a frag video that you can Google and probably find. I think it's called that, Muscle Milk and Moulions or something. I don't know. But I go Pyro on that, and I kill Sizer from LG. At the time, he was EG. That's my #1 moment. But I'll do one better, Sal. We were casting, I think, Season 9 LAN, and there was a match between Area 51 Gaming and another team that I don't remember on G-Pit. And the guy who made our sweet, not HUD, the overlay that you're seeing, the fully charged overlay, his name is Memphis Vaughn, and he was Pyro on the top of C, and a soldier jumped up at him and was going to shoot him, and Memphis Vaughn reflect air shot him, and it was the coolest thing that I've ever seen on LAN. If I did that on LAN, I would have stood up, ripped my shirt off, and just went like, rah! And then have to get back down and play because I probably would have been getting shot by somebody else. But that's
actually exactly what I do every time I get a reflect air shot. It's a good thing I don't normally play with a cam. So.
The soldier air shot was actually hard blue too, so it makes it even better.
Really? Oh, that's
I think so.
Enigma, what about you, man? Favorite Pyro moment?
I think anytime I'm defending Badlands last and I can deny the entire Uber from the other team from coming in, that's pretty cool. The other moment would have to be, I think, Season 8 or 7 or whatever. It was a regular season match on Snakewater, and Reptile jumps into last, and I reflect air shot him from the longest distance I've ever seen. Taunt right after, and it makes him mad.
Yeah, I can imagine. Those
I can imagine Reptile's response to like, "Yay! I can't believe it just happened. Can we win? God."
So there is kind of a perception among a lot of Sixes players, and maybe it's not all of them, but I see a lot of this like sort of condescending, like, oh, Pyro's an easy class, you just like spam mouse 2 and like you shut down soldiers and it sucks, I hate playing against Pyro. And there is kind of a legitimate thought process going on there, which is that I want this game to be like Quake. I want it to be fast paced, I want to be able to jump in, deal the damage, and so a Pyro really shuts that down. If we see more Pyro in 6v6, ESEA Open, whatever, is it going to cause more rage?
Yes. People don't like... they hate heavy. Heavy is the #1. I'd say it goes heavy, NG, and then Pyro as far as off-classing goes. I hate Sniper the most. When I get domed while I'm playing the game, there's nothing that makes me more angry. I just get really mad. When I see a heavy in a scrim or a match, which I don't obviously play that many of, I get a little mad, but people loathe the existence of the heavy in 6v6. Exactly for why you just said, that slows the game down. I don't think Pyro slows it down as much. I think Pyro is really hard to push into, and it can make you look really dumb if you get reflected and your medic dies because of it or something. But I would say that I think most people would rather see a Pyro than a heavy or an NG with a level 3 and like a Wrangler. But
I don't think Pyros are that hard to deal with from the opposite side. And there's some legitimacy to it. It's really easy to ruin things just by right clicking. It's kind of a garbage class, let's be honest. But there's a reason a lot of us play it and love it, though. It's a lot of fun.
I think most of the frustration from the opposite end of the Pyro, the guy getting air blasted, is just that it disrupts your aim and movement a lot, and it's really frustrating and not fun to play against someone when you're trying to hit them and you're just getting knocked up over and over and over, and your crosshairs bouncing everywhere.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So there's some legit like, I don't like playing against this. I want to see more of it. I want to see like a legit open or high open or even intermediate team try to make a run of like somebody main pyro off classing to soldier or off classing to scout. I think it'd be awesome. I know a lot of the folks tuning in from Reddit or wherever else would think it's pretty awesome too. So
Yeah.
here's hoping.
I'm always down to see more variety in our game. When new stuff happens and things are happening that are like maybe not just new maps, but new play styles and the new aggressive wave that Mix-Up and LG are playing LAN and stuff that they have for the last couple seasons, where we're not waiting for Uber, we're just pushing all the time. I love that. That's such a cool new change. I hope that we see more new strats. People like Harblu who can, hey, I don't want to play soldier I've just died, I'm going to go spy and I'm going to get your medic, or I'm going to go pyro and you're going to shoot rockets at me and I'm going to take them from you and shoot them back at you in a crit form. That's awesome. I want to see more of more variety, and it can be at any level. It doesn't have to be at the low level. You could see it, an invite team roll a pyro out randomly, and I think a lot of invite teams wouldn't know what to do about it, frankly, in certain areas of maps, and I hope we do see that. But teams generally stick to vanilla because that's what they practice, and that's sort of, I don't know. So if you're watching and you play in your scrims, try new stuff. Try running the heavy to make everybody mad. Or try running things that are different.
To an extent, I don't want to say this is permanently, but that's kind of what scrims are for, right? You want to practice and you want to get down like the basic mechanics. Okay, we know how to win, but we also know how to run this crazy strat that nobody's going to be able to like figure out in time, right?
Yep, or they won't be ready for it, and you could do something different. I'm just imagining in a situation like Badlands, you have a pyro just run out of the balcony and use reflecting your shots as you have your soldier bomb. That would be something, like cool little twist. It wouldn't be that hard to practice that. I just think in scrims, you see teams that just try to win that scrim. And it could be more of like, we're going to try some crazy new strat. Maybe not just we're going to play more aggressively this time. We're going to like jump around and use the pyro to aid a push that we haven't tried before, just to see if it'll work. There's no reason you shouldn't do that. Like, you lose a scrim, you screw up a push, big deal.
There's been some pretty good examples in Open of people running pyro, and a lot of the reason it works is just it's so unexpected to keep the pyro out the entire time. Hui, who inexplicably shares my name.
I thought you were
why that ever happened
in the third person, like.
No, exactly. It's another guy named Hui Lewis instead of Huey. But yeah, he used to run it all the times on maps like Badlands and Gully Wash. Overseer, our Highlander team's medic, was his medic for one of those seasons, season 9, I think. And even I think Sal might have casted a game from the season 12.
Yeah, with Hui in it. I confused the two of you, so I was a complete idiot in that cast. But
there was a game. Yeah, there was a game this last summer on I think it was Badlands. That was R5, the Overseer and Sheep and Downpour, my teammates on Tangerines, their open team, and the other team ran a pyro on them, and they just, for a few rounds, they didn't know how to react, and they ended up winning the game because they kept the pyro out a little bit too long. But it's just, it's kind of unexpected, and if it's not expected, then yeah, it's going to work and going to throw people off.
Okay. Yeah. There's your motivation, guys. We're going to get into the next segment here real quick, which is Cbear. What do you think it is, man?
Is it a time where I give away things to people?
It is.
No, or is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is that time. So, ladies and
Does it
gentlemen,
mean we all
got
have to
items.
wear our... Oh, yeah.
We're wearing hats.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna raffle off new stuff. So now you can tell your friends that have been waiting, that didn't actually want to watch, that want free stuff. We have hats still. I'll be digging into my own as Sal puts his hat on. I need to get a cool hat for next week. I didn't.
Yeah, you do.
Realize. I have a baseball
I have like
hat.
10. I never wear them, but I have hats all over the place, man.
Right. But everyone's going crazy for hats. We have hats, and we do have one more Girl Gamer hat that I didn't give out last time. It's actually not a hat. It's like a thing that you pin on. It's like a Orcus something. I have it right here. It is a Infernal Orchestrina. Hey, that's there. But I have 3 signed items from various top players. I'm going to do like a test run here. It's something that we can do if people are interested. What I have is a Banny pipe launcher, a TLR rocket launcher, and a Pure or Brad medic gun. So I'll be giving those out right now. If you're interested in that, if you win it and you don't care, we can give it to somebody else. I think some people would want them. I don't know. It's an idea that we had, and I think it's a good one. So
I like
the same deal as before. I'm going to put all of your viewer names into the random generating thing.
There is no corruption going on here whatsoever. Just so you guys know, we're totally not corrupt. This is clean. We didn't pre-select the winners of these.
Nope. And if it's anyone that I know, I'm gonna not allow it to happen. How about that? Bam. All right. First, let's see. First item we're gonna give away. Let's do the items first. So we'll start with the Tyler rocket launcher. So the first winner of this raffle will be the TLR rocket launcher, and it's going to be YL Fangs. YL Fangs. You've won a TLR rocket launcher. If you want it, post in the stream chat, buddy.
And we may be a little bit behind on this, not by too much, but give it a minute or two to see if he responds, because I want that rocket launcher.
And this will make you 65% better at Soldier.
Fact.
There he is saying
62% worse at
Fact.
Scout. I see him right there. Hello. All right. I really do need to have somebody else that helps me with this. So
I'm gonna go
find-
ahead and I'm setting chat
open
to
up the
slow
PYRO
mode,
list.
guys. Chat
Open
is in
up the
slow
PYRO
mode,
list,
so
Cbear,
that
and you can just grab them. It won't move.
Yeah, so don't spam chat. So hat friends. Okay, so I need to go and get my Steam profile up real fast here. I should have had this ready, but I didn't. Okay, so you are the winner of that. Next, we'll give out the Banny pipe launcher. Actually, you know what? That'll be the third thing. I think that's the big weapon, because Banny is everyone's favorite player. We'll give that out at the very end here.
Blow their loads over.
So we'll do Ooh, you say blow your load. All right. So
Hey,
Mr.
I get a little
Wild
raunchy as the
Fangs,
evening goes
add
on.
me, and I'll give you the Tyler rocket launcher. So Banny. I'm sorry, Brad Metagun, the pure Metagun. I'm going to randomize, and the winner is, you're going to like this, I believe this is your teammate, Mr. Huey Lewis. Your teammate, R5 Scarlet. R5
Nice.
Scarlet.
Big
You've
sheep.
won a Brad Metagun. Hey! I don't know if you want it or not, but if you do, post in here. Friend.
Sheep.
And Scarlett's, of course, a competitive player.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you want it, R5 Scarlet?
Do you want it? We'll give it to you.
Come on, sheep.
It's sheep, right? I think I've played with sheep before.
Yeah, sheep, Chicago bred, Shep, ASDF, Scarlet. Selling it for 5 keys, he says.
Hey, we don't care what you do with it.
All right, you get it. You get it. I'm just to say that anyone can win, even your mid-level competitive players. Hey, all right, so you win the Brad gun. Hooray! And you can add me on Steam. If you were that lucky, you get to add me on Friends for about 15 minutes before I remove you. All right, Banny, the Banny pipe launcher, the big dog here.
You need a drum roll for this?
I would love a drum roll if I had a drum. Okay,
Can't
yeah,
help.
it's fine. I'm not gonna relog all these names, so whatever. Bam, randomize. Okay, wow. I just want to point out, Whisker Biscuit, you were second, man.
Oh, so
But
close.
You did win. Okay, the winner is Chuck IR. Chuck IR. Chuck IR. You are the winner. So post on ha, big winner.
Awesome, guys. So we've given away a Tyler rocket launcher, which makes your air shots 100% better. We've given away a pure med gun, which makes your dropping Ubers 100% better.
Woo.
And now giving away the Banny pipe launcher, which is, I mean,
This will make you. It'll grow your hair out like a foot within the first week that you own it, but then you'll just be the best.
yeah.
You win the Banny gun. There you go. You can add me on Friends, and you get that. What do you think, Sal? Should we give away a couple hats?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the people need their hats.
Okay, so we'll give
Can I
away
jump in
first.
for a second? I just want to help out a little pyro buddy I have. We all stick together.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, well we have 363 viewers right
Yeah.
now. Thanks for everyone coming out. Monochromatic Bunny, a friend of mine who is on Team Player in UGC Platinum Highlander. His name's Monochromatic because he is completely colorblind, and he's running a little petition right now to try to get Valve to add like a true colorblind mode to the game. So I'm going to link that in chat if that is cool, Sal.
No.
Nope.
No, yeah, that's
And
fine.
the-
Yeah. Please do.
And-
And yeah, everyone go and sign that. We're already about a third of the way there. So if everyone in here gets us there, we'll get another third up there. But yeah, just wanted to take a little bit of time. Thank you, Sal, for letting me butt in there. And now
Smacka mode. I believe Smacka, competitive player Smacka, the guy who looks like Shrek but white. is also colorblind. So shout out to you, Smacka.
And they have why is he 50? Maybe they keep saying he's colorblind because he keeps shooting his own teammates all the time.
I think that's just because he's high, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's just. The rods and the cones are just kind of misfiring because he's so high. Gotcha. All right, so we're going to give out the Girl Gamer, the last Girl Gamer item I have. I don't want to part with it. It's near and dear to my heart. This is the Infernal Orchestrina, which is a pyro thing. Your BFFs will turn their frowns upside down as they dance a merry jig to those cheery tunes. That's a great description. So thanks again to Reef.
So Cbear giving away his pyro thing, as ridiculous as that sounds. Who wants it, I guess, huh?
Everyone wants it. Okay, the winner is LSDKFJD. So someone who just mashed their keyboard and made a Steam or a Twitch TV name. Hey, you've won a little hat thing. That's not really a hat, but it's something resembling.
It's a misc item, Cbear.
It's something you can pin to your chest, and it was once owned by a woman. So LSD, there you are, buddy. Congratulations. I'm sending you a message. Please don't DDoS me. Okay, you win the Pyro thing, and you can add me on Steam Friends, and I'll give that to you. What do you think, Sal? Should we give out a Cbear item? I have a couple that I'm donating.
Are they signed by Cbear?
No, they're not. But
oh, well, that's worthless trash.
The value's gone down by nothing. Let's see. What do you guys want? I don't have that many other cool items here. This was donated by Wazzer Wiffle last week. I'll give out a package of it. This will be a whiff of the old brimstone, which is like a collection of bombs for the Demo Man, which I think is also something you like pin to the Demo Man's black Scottish chest. And I'll throw in where's the one that I crafted?
Right? Throw in a free massage.
Okay, the anger, which is a sniper hat that was crafted by me. Yeah, crafted it. Metal. So you get those two items. This will probably be the last one that we do. You guys like the thing? Wazzer Wiffle. Sorry, dude.
He said this. He said it's supposed to be like laser rifle, Wazer rifle.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna reset and randomize. Okay, the winner is Weishen, Weishenn. You've won the bombs and the hat that I crafted and don't want. So
you are now TF2 rich. Congratulations!
Worth about 1/7 of a key, I think.
All right, well, Enigma and Huey Lewis, thank you guys so much. And to play us out today, instead of doing a tune, I'm actually going to do the this latest. I'm going to debut a new frag video. It's going to be the Tangerine frag video made by Dashner. So that's going to be awesome. We'll play that out. But before we go here, Cbear, is there anything I've missed? We need to do a little outro. Of course, Huey Lewis from Tangerine and Enigma down over there from Classic Mix-Up. Both of them play the Pyro. We talked Pyro. We had fun. Cbear, what about you, man?
I had fun, of course. Sal, love you to death. I'd kiss you if I could, but you're in Texas and I'm in Minnesota. It's tough to extend my lips that far. Big thanks to Enigma for joining us. Big thanks to Huey Lewis, of course, for joining us. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Not sure what we'll be talking about next week, but same time, same place. We'll have episode 3. We'll let you guys know what we're going to talk about. But yeah, feedback's always welcome. Thank you guys for watching. For those of you who won, congratulations, and enjoy the video.
Yeah, and of course, real quick shout-outs from Huey Lewis and Enigma. You guys got anything you want to pimp, like your stream channels, anything like that?
No one needs to watch my stream. But yeah, thanks, Sal, for letting me come in here and talk. Shout-outs to Tangerine and all my other Pyro friends, Monochromatic Bunny, Pudding Cup, TMP, Satan, Cygnus. Best friends forever, Cygnus, okay.
About you, Enigma?
I want to give you a thanks and all the donors who got us and LG to I-46 and made I-46 a reality and showed the Euros who the best TF2 players are.
We got him, Sal. We showed him who's boss.
We did. That guy did, right there. That guy showed him who's boss. Actually, so we've been using a picture all night. This is not a picture of Enigma. This is actually a picture of Ark from Zen City. Enigma sent us this and says, no, you have to use this for me.
We're blood brothers. It's close enough.
Okay.
He's Ark's third kid.
All right, guys. It's been good. Thank you very much. Hit us up on teamfortress.tv. Hit me up on youtube.com/fatmop. That's where I'm going to put the VOD of this. I'm going to try and rip the sound from it too, so you can download that separately and put it on your iPod and listen to it on your way to work in the morning or at Starbucks or whatever the hell it is you yuppies do. And we will see you guys later. Thank you very much.
Good night, guys.
Bandit, the tangerine.
Bet that looking handsome, they do not want to lose this match. Right now they are, I think, the first seed. C's getting captured here, and actually they may just start taking these points like dominoes. Kind of surprising. I didn't think they'd be able to do it, but so far, no, C is capped. They've still got 4 minutes left to just capture those last 2.
That I smoked a couple cigarettes and didn't sleep for 7 days.
He is probably going to fall here. 2.5 minutes left to go. Team looking handsome may just get taken out by a team that is on paper doing a little bit worse than them right now, but I don't think there's anything they can do. Crux
We got her.
pop in.
Nice, Huey.
Nice job.
What?
I
Excellent
fucked him in
work.
spawn. Fucking
Nicely
great, guys.
done. Fucking brilliant.